Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm here to give you another read aloud series for hold on, let me see. Let me just make sure I get this right. And look back at the rich history of the WWE Championship, Chapter 22. This chapter is called Stone Cold versus The Rock. And this chapter starts off on page 183 and ends on page 188, so it's only 5 pages, so this video probably won't be that long. So I'm just going to get right into it. If you want to check out chapters 1 through 21, be sure to click on that playlist right there. Ask any WWE superstar what it takes to be a great champion, and almost all of them will tell you that charisma plays a major role. Over the course of the nearly 50-year history of the WWE Championship, many of the most legendary titleists have backed up this theory with their quick wit and motivational microphone skills. Superstar Billy Graham, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. But while all were certainly entertaining in their own way, they all take a back seat to The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. They're actually not wrong there. After The Rock finally moved past his war with Mankind, the WWE Champion found himself on a collision course with Stone Cold. The result, one of the most entertaining and charismatic rivalries to ever grace a WWE ring. From the moment The Rock entered WWE, it was clear he was deepened with personality. Not once did he ever show a silver of trepidation when speaking to a sold-out crowd. Stone Cold displayed the same level of confidence, but his excellence was not second nature. When I look back at my promos from World Class Championship Wrestling, also known as WCCW, and the few I did as Stunning Steve Austin in WCW, I pretty much blew. But goddamn, they were real. They weren't scripted. That forced me to learn my A-game. There were few people who just start out with an A-game. I wasn't one of them. I remember when they put me and Brian Pillman together as the Hollywood Blondes in 1993. Pillman was always a really good talker. We used to ride down the road together, and I'd look over and there's Pillman reading a vocabulary book. He was always working on getting better. That's when I thought, if this guy is going to go this far, I better bring myself up to speed. Then when I went to ECW and got some more opportunity and learned even more. By the time he reached WWE, more specifically, his rivalry with The Rock, Austin was a star showman. His catchphrase such as, "That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so," and Austin 316 says, "I just ripped your ass," were constantly repeated by fans all over the globe. And it wasn't just the spoken words that made him so popular, it was also his actions, particularly his beer drinking and bird flipping. Fans simply loved the work-class hero who wasn't afraid to be a little edgy, which I talked about in my the Attitude Era chapter of my Read Aloud series. As the rivalry neared WrestleMania 15, Austin's edginess reached a whole new level when he drove a monster truck into an arena and soaked down The Rock, Shane, and Mr. McMahon. The sight of Stone Cold operating the giant beer hose is still used on WWE highlight reels today. It actually is. But many don't realize that it didn't go quite as planned for Austin. When they hit me with that idea, I said, "Damn, that's badass," recalls Austin. But what they didn't see on camera was me trying to give myself a drink. The only problem was that I forgot to take my thumb off the nozzle, causing all this beer to come shooting at me. If I had tonsils, it would have washed them right down my throat. But we were live, and when that red light's on, I'm always going to regain my composure very quickly. so I acted like nothing happened, but damn, it turned my eyelids inside out. But the funniest part was watching Vince do that crazy swim thing he did, and that's hilarious. People who go to take swimming lessons, just watch Vince McMahon try to swim in that beer. That's how you take swimming lessons. Vince McMahon should be like a swimming champion. He should be competing in the swimming Olympics. But anyhow, continuing. When Austin appeared to be having a good time on camera, in reality, a bitter divorce was causing mountains of stress in his personal life. Recognizing the pressure was mounting, WWE arranged for Austin to be flown to Philadelphia, the site of WrestleMania 15, on a private jet. The gesture helped to relieve him of some anxiety, but it failed to fully clear his head while he was packing for the trip. I was going through so much at the time. Man, I even forgot to pack my signature vest. Here it is, the biggest night of the year, and I don't have my vest. I had to walk to the ring with a t-shirt on. Once March 28, 1999 came, Stone Cold put his personal issues on hold and focused solely on his WrestleMania match with The Rock. Sorry. Both superstars took full advantage of the no disqualification stipulation and battled much of the match outside the ring, utilizing various weapons found around the arena, including the enormous WrestleMania 15 sign that hung above the ring entry. And here's a highlight, because I didn't show this picture because I wanted to wait till it got. Here's a picture of Stone Cold versus The Rock from that match. Austin about to do the, like the elbow drop through the announce table on The Rock. In the end, Austin nailed The Rock with a stunner, causing the champ to bounce backward the win like a pinball. Once he finally settled, Austin went for the pin and the win. To the outsider, Austin's celebration looked much like his WrestleMania 14 post-match bash. Inside, though, the feeling couldn't have been any different. It was a tough night at the office, says Austin. I remember it being such a tremendous relief when we got the 3 count in and the bell rang. At the time, Coors Lights was on tap, and they threw me a couple of those silver cans, and when I clicked those damn things together and stood up on that turnbuckle, I remember thinking to myself, I made it. Meaning I made it through the match, and that I was so stressed about in spite of all the distractions going on in my personal life. And here's the picture of Stone Cold Steve Austin holding up the WWE Championship after the match. Stone Cold defeated the Brahma Bull again at the following month's Backlash pay-per-view. The win temporarily ended the Austin Rock rivalry, but the real story of the night happened just moments after the match. As the show reached its conclusion, an innocent Stephanie McMahon was seen in the back of a limousine preparing to leave for the night. Before the car left, however, the evil dead man revealed himself as the driver. He locked Stephanie inside the vehicle and sped off. The next night on Raw, the dead man's Ministry of Darkness carried a restrained Stephanie to the ring on an oversized Undertaker symbol. According to the dead man, if Mr. McMahon failed to give him ownership of the WWE, the Phenom was going to perform a black wedding ceremony, uniting himself and the boss's daughter forever. Both Ken Shamrock and Big Show tried to stop the dog plan, but neither could penetrate the ministry's defenses. Finally, just moments before the ceremony was to be complete, the most unlikely of heroes ran to the ring to save the day, Stone Cold Steve Austin. The champ cleared house of the Undertaker's henchmen before finally untying Stephanie, who showed her appreciation by wrapping her arms around Austin and giving him an emotional embrace. Fans couldn't believe their eyes. Stone Cold just saved his arch-rival's daughter, but he didn't do it for Mr. McMahon. He did it because it was the right thing to do. Unfortunately for Austin, his heroism was rewarded with a title defense against Undertaker at Over the Edge. Murray by controversial officiated by special guest referee Shane McMahon. The match concluded with the Dead Man ended Stone Cold's third WWE Championship with a simple roll-up. Then that's the end of the chapter. Not a long chapter. How weird is it that every time Stone Cold Steve Austin's in a big match, something drastic always happens in his personal life? I just kind of find that strange. It's like he couldn't catch a break. I kind of feel bad for him in a way. But obviously you had that great feud between Austin and The Rock. You know, McMahon, they were still incorporated him in there because it was the heat of the Austin-McMahon feud. Something I wish they had talked about was the match they had at St. Valentine's, because of the way that Stone Cold Steve Austin got that match was he competed in the 1999 Royal Rumble with Vince McMahon, where Vince McMahon originally won the Royal Rumble. The commissioner at the time, Shawn Michaels, since Vince McMahon had won, he forfeited his title shot. So Michaels gave the title shot to Stone Cold since he was the runner-up, and Austin had to put his title shot on the line against McMahon in a cage match at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and that's when Big Show, you know, at the time known as Paul White, debuted and tried to cost Austin the match, but he threw him through the cage instead. Austin ended up winning, and then that's how the match was set up. And Vince McMahon tried to stack the deck against Austin. Originally, Big Show and Mankind had a match with each other at WrestleMania to decide who was going to be the guest referee, where Big Show got himself disqualified, and Mankind, you didn't think was going to officiate because he got like choke slammed through chairs or something, but he eventually ended up coming out, and Mankind helped Austin win the championship. And then this whole situation happened with The Undertaker, where it was the, you know, the higher power angle. I don't know if they're going to talk about it in the next chapter. I'll just read ahead a little bit. It doesn't say it, but it actually doesn't say it because it goes right into what happened after Undertaker won the title. Pretty much what happened was Vince McMahon was revealed to be the higher power, which was really stupid, because Vince McMahon pretty much put his daughter through tormented himself just to get back at Austin. Like, it just showed that he was mad. It was stupid. And yeah, that pretty much brought up this whole angle. And then, yeah, it just became really dumb. And then that's kind of what led us to, you know, kind of caught us up to the current stuff that happened at the time. But that's pretty much it, guys. I pretty much said everything I needed to say. Obviously, the Austin Rock feud, like it said, ended for now. There's going to be more to it later on. But obviously, the feud back then was great. Obviously, the beer truck thing was great. And, you know, The Rock was the top heel at the time. I don't think they had he was fully a top. He was one of the top guys, but he wasn't like as big of a star as he would become. But I'll probably talk about that more so as I get into this book. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my CM Brothers and Owen the Talkinator YouTube channels, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for more content. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.